Hey, welcome to the fifth. This is our fifth episode, Funky Cole.
Yes, sir. Fifth episode.
Fifth episode of the Coffee Table Podcast. How's everybody doing? We got Fresh West in the building once again, making sure that we are connected correctly. You know, he's
shout
in that
out, shout
Coffee
out,
Table
shout out,
Podcast
Fresh West,
screen
bro, is
over
doing
there.
a good job. And
Yes, sir.
Coach, before we start, I got a couple shout outs.
Yeah.
I'd like to make. First of all, I'd like to shout out. We were just talking about him like 2 seconds ago. My good buddy from high school, Devin Stanford, OG
Deep Dan.
Tampa Bay Bucks fan. You finally got another Super Bowl you wanted. Congrats to you. Stayed loyal with Tampa Bay through those tough years.
That guy's been a serious Tampa Bay fan for a long time. So, since I met him when I coached him, and I met Devin when he was a 7th grader. So when I first started coaching out here, man, he was repping Tampa Bay hard. Cousins, family down there, making trips down there. So yeah, shout out Devin Stanford. Maybe we'll get him on here next week.
Yeah.
Or get him
Shout
on here
out.
sometime in the future to talk about his little deal, see what he wants to talk about with sports and whatever's going
Exactly.
on. So,
Shout out the Bucks. And actually, we'd like to make a more serious shout out to a good friend of Coach Jay's and someone I know, Dewan.
Oh yeah, Dewan
you
Eubanks.
You want to take
Definitely
this
gonna
one?
get him on here as a guest at some point too. Man,
Shout out for being the executive of the year, right?
Yes, executive of the year of the D League. He's a main Red Claws guy out here, man, that kind of runs the show there. It's not even kind of runs the show there. He's an executive there. He got the team executive of the year. Shout out Dewan. Dewan comes to speak at my football camps that I have every year. Man, he's a showstopper, and I'm looking forward to getting him on here. So.
Hey, and listen, Dewan, for a little backstory, Dewan Eubanks is the textbook definition of a hard worker.
And class act.
And class act, both. He's the I remember I used to work at Hannaford, and at one night at 10 p.m., him and his daughter, I forget his daughter's name, walk into Hannaford, and he just starts having a conversation with me. And I had actually known him through someone else, another contact of mine that I was looking to, and I started talking to him. I was like, "Hey, are you Dewan Eubanks?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" And I was like, "Oh, I have someone that I know that told me about you." And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Email me. Here's my email." And everything. Class act, great guy, hard worker. You know he's a hard worker because he was going to the supermarket at 10. And we know dang well that the dude was working up until then. So
real talk. So yeah, shout out Dewan Eubanks. Oh man, while we're at it, you know, I had a little different outfit on earlier today.
He was Big Red, now he's not.
Yeah, man, I flipped the script. I had to go get my definitive brewing company hat. It's a brewery out here. And there's a bunch of breweries out here. It's like big business out here, man. And we're kind of brew heads in regards to, you know, supporting the different breweries and just seeing the different types of tastes that we have out here. And with it being Black History Month, I wanted to bring them up. They when a lot of the Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, protesting was going on this past summer, and just a lot of the just kind of craziness in society was happening. Man, them and a lot of other breweries across the nation made a stout, and they titled it Black is Beautiful. And shout out to them for that, man.
Shout out.
Black History Month. Oh, there we go. Black History Month. For Black History Month, I want to give them a shout out. So I'm rocking them today. I drank all my Black is Beautiful stout. These didn't last too long, but
so here's my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking this week, my friend? Is it the Black Stout?
Let you know that. One more thing. Shout out to Black is Beautiful, and it is. On to what I'm sipping on though. Here we go. Today, I'm sipping on some of that good diet cranberry. You know what I'm saying? I'm on that cranberry juice, and with that being said, I'm on that. And let me know once everybody talks about what they're on. When you talk about what you're on for today, make sure we bring this back because I want to talk about a little something in regards to
and actually
turning that in.
I will bring back up Devin Stanford for the second time in this episode because I'm following him in the footsteps of his nickname for me, the Water Boy, and having some of the high quality H2O.
Hey, I forgot, man. Hey, we gotta have a toast. Fresh West. I know you'll edit the clink in, but here we go. I know you'll edit that clink in for us later on, you know.
But yes, so it's actually a funny story. So one day I will should give you a background story, then when you can go back to your cranberry. So I was in practice, and I think it was my junior year because it was his senior year, or maybe it was when you were there. It was Devin Stanford and Christian Lavalle. They were like the
Laval's.
Lavals, and it's
They were,
funny.
man, they were
Well,
tight.
well, what's funny is actually no, it was my sophomore year because I had geometry with them. So we would sit in the back row in geometry, we would hang out, and they was tight. And one
Mhm.
day in class, or one day in practice, I go there and Devin goes, "You know who you remind me of?" I'm like, "Oh boy, this isn't gonna go well." He goes, "You remind me of Bobby Boucher." And I go, "You joking?" And he goes, "Nope." And then they start making like the water boy sound, and then they they told me to go get the water, and I got nervous and tipped over the bucket of ice.
I remember that.
He was at that practice, and I was
I was
scooping the
there.
ice. Oh my god, that was funny because they was teasing me, and then because they were like my big brothers in that class.
Right.
They always had my back. It was funny, but no, those two were tight. So shout out to him for that nickname.
Yeah, man.
Every single time I have water, I think of that. I go high quality H2O.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah,
So with me on my cranberry, like we said earlier, one of my deals that I want to get on is, man, out here in Maine. This is one of the states where when you turn in your bottle, when you recycle your bottles, you can get a redemption of 5 cents. So for this bottle, for most of your canned sodas, all this stuff, you can get redemption money from, man. You will be surprised on how many people leave bottles everywhere, throw them away, don't take
yeah,
them back
and,
to
and you
get
can
the
get.
cash. I'll tell you what, I stay on trying to get my cash. I
Hey, you know what?
collect bottles. I'm a nut
You
like
know
that.
what? I feel like I'm on fire right now. So I'm gonna say this. I'm a coach Stephen A. Smith. People who ain't doing that, you got to manage your books, cash in your check, man.
For real, man. Like people, my wife be thinking I'm crazy because I'll pick up bottles. She'd be like, "What?" I got that from my old man. My dad used to be on that, man.
5 cents, man. 5
It adds
cents.
up, man. So people that are
It
out
does
there,
add up.
you got a lot of people out here in Maine that could care less about getting the 5 cents. It's crazy. To me,
Exactly.
you can make a living easy if you hustle
Exactly.
hard enough. I
All
mean,
right. Yeah, I feel you.
you know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
get
So
it. Yeah.
with the nickel piece, also it's almost like
Hey,
someone's reaching in
listen.
their pocket and throwing a nickel on the ground.
Right. And no
Who
one
does
be
that?
doing that. No
Yeah, but
one.
anyways,
Anyways, all right. So we're gonna start this show off the way we'd always do with our rookie report. And before I start, I'm gonna say this again. Coach Jay and I don't want to talk about our preseason predictions for the rookie report because it ain't going well. We don't leave
no.
it at that. It's actually going so bad that our sleeper for rookie of the year, Malachi Flynn, got called down to the Raptors 905. That's how
Whoa.
bad it is. That's how bad it is.
They called him down to the D League.
They are starting him in the D League while the D League season starts because he wasn't playing enough minutes. It's that bad.
Oh, because he wasn't playing enough.
No.
Okay.
But anyways, two things about the rookie of the year. Before we get going with the numbers, I'm gonna pull up a stat, and I'm a little bit upset at myself for not earlier projecting this. This is this stat. This is a Sports Center fact stat. LaMelo Ball leads all NBA rookies for total points, rebounds, assists, steals, double doubles, triple doubles, and player efficiency rating.
Wow.
Not per game, total. Because he doesn't lead the league in rebounds per game, but he has the most rebounds.
In the league?
But no, of amongst rookies.
Rookies. Okay. Man, I heard he's an unbelievable rebounder.
He is. He's averaging 5.92 per game, which is second in the league. And instead of going through my normal stats, all I'm going to say is the league leader in point, LaMelo's averaging 14.24 points per game, 5.92 rebounds, and 6.16 assists. And the next closest in points is Anthony Edwards, then James Wiseman, then Halliburton. And then, believe it or not, there is a Nick rookie in there, but it's the wrong Nick rookie. It's Emmanuel Quickly.
And he's balling.
And he is balling.
Hey, who was it that was talking about how much they like? Oh, the Paul George and Lemon Pepper Lou.
They want to get him to LA, huh?
No, I don't know if they want to get him to LA. They probably would, but they really like him as a rookie. They like
Lemon Pepper
he
Lou.
he studies those guys and does his thing. So
Yeah.
Halliburton's the only one to me right now that's on Lamar Ball's. He's on his tail. He's on it.
Halliburton. For the Kings,
Halliburton's filthy.
Halliburton is good too. And you know what's funny? The Kings, a lot of people thought that the Knicks should have drafted Halliburton, and they should have.
Yeah.
They should have.
Yeah, he would have been that perfect point guard for him.
They should have.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's done. We'll come back to the NBA later.
Yes.
We need to. Go
RIP.
ahead.
Can I get an RIP in?
Oh yes. Sorry,
Uh,
get your RIP. in. I forgot that.
RIP. Pedro Gomez. Big time baseball analyst. You know, I'm not a huge baseball guy, but
Me
you know,
neither. But I knew the name.
Yeah,
I knew the
know a little
name, even though I'm not a big baseball guy.
Yeah, man, and he's kind of been that guy, man, and I just wanted to you know, say RIP to him and his family.
Yes.
He was only 58 years old, so wanted to give him a
Yes.
shout out.
Yes. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So now we'll come back to the NBA. As I said, we're gonna go to the NFL first before we talk. Okay. So obviously, Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, preventing the Kansas City Chiefs from repeating. Now, before we go into talking about the Super Bowl, I found another stat on Instagram on the NFL on Fox page, telling you the teams that have repeated as Super Bowl champs, and there is 7 teams that have done it.
Can I guess some?
Guess them.
I don't know how many I will guess, but we know Dallas did.
Yes, sir.
We know the Steelers did.
Yes, sir. Actually, the Steelers did it twice.
Nice.
They're the only ones to do it twice. They did it twice.
So we know the Steelers did. We know the Patriots did.
Yep.
Did Green Bay?
Green Bay won the first 2. They did. There's 4. You're missing 3.
My Raiders did not.
No, they did not.
We got 3 of them though. They didn't repeat.
You're missing 3 teams. And if you think about it, one of them is one of those teams that's won a lot of Super Bowls.
I'm gonna go with the Redskins.
Nope.
I'm done. Who are they? Who the other
So Green Bay is the first one, 66-67.
Yeah.
Second one, Miami, 72-73.
Oh, I didn't know they went back to back.
Pittsburgh went 74-75, 78-79. Pittsburgh did it twice. The fourth one, the one I was telling you about, thinking about teams that won a lot, San Fran did it, 88-89.
What? How did I not name San Francisco?
That's what I'm saying, Coach.
I knew that.
San Fran. I knew you knew that. I knew you knew that. San Fran did it. Dallas did it, 92-93.
Yep.
New England did it 2000, 2004. And the one that you missed, the Denver Broncos did it 97-98.
How'd I miss that? That's when they had the boy Terrell Davis.
See, Miami, I expected you to miss because that was early 70s. I was surprised you missed San Fran, and I was surprised you missed Denver.
Yeah, shouldn't have missed San Fran. Probably should have got Denver right. But
definitely shouldn't have missed San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So now I want to talk about the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl, I want to mention something that involves Tom Brady. That's a debate topic that I mentioned to you about earlier. But so Super Bowl.
Okay.
I want to talk about the actual game. I want to talk a little bit about the halftime show. And I want to talk about the commercials. First, the game. The game wasn't disappointing, but it wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be. Because, and I'm going to go on the record, and I'm not going to blame any of the coaching staff. I'm not going to blame Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to blame 3 people. The Chiefs' offensive line, the Chiefs' lack of discipline on defense, and Tyrann Mathieu. And here's why I'm blaming the Honey Badger. When he got in Brady's face, that was a 1-possession game. After that, Kansas City didn't do anything. And Tom Brady, and I saw something saying that a former Patriot player or analyst or team member or something texted Stephen A. Smith, it was on Instagram, and said that Tyrann Mathieu just poked the bear and that they weren't going to win that game. And that's what happened. And I think that killed them. I think the lack of discipline and the unnecessary penalties, especially in the first half that Kansas City got, hurt them. And the offensive line hurt them, because I saw another stat saying that Patrick Mahomes ran the most yards from scrimmage before throwing the ball ever. I'll look for that stat while you give your opinion on the game. And I think Patrick Mahomes made some incredible passes too. But he just couldn't do it all. Go ahead.
So I will agree with you on a few of those takes. Honey Badger take. There's a lot more to that story, and it looks like he was the antagonizer. But word on the streets,
it's interesting that you say
Tom
that.
Brady was the antagonizer. So
here's the thing. I found, now that you mentioned that, I found the other thing I was looking for, and it says right here that Tyrann Mathieu tweeted. He called me something I won't repeat, but yeah, I'll let all the media throw me under the bus as if I did something or said something to him. Go back to my previous games against TB12. I showed him nothing but respect. Look at my interviews about him. I show grace.
Right. So here's what I think happened there, Funky Cold. I think he put that tweet up, and Tom got at him right as he was putting that up, or right in the time where he had put it up, to let him talk to him and be like, I was out of pocket, because Tom sent him an apology, basically apologized to him for how he talked to him, how he treated him, and
right.
And Mathieu he took that down. So
he took the tweet down.
It was kind of intertwined. But here's the thing: Tom Brady, he's the GOAT, no denying that. But whatever Tom Brady thinks or whatever Tom Brady does, it's safe to say everybody's going to pretty much ride with Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like they're going to automatically look at it as it was Mathieu that was the antagonizer, that he
right.
he got the, even the refs feel that way. He got the penalty. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? He wasn't even the one that chased after Tom. But it's Tom Brady.
Here's the stat I was looking at. Ready? This is what I was talking about Mahomes, and we'll get back to the Brady thing. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. Mm-hmm. This was tweeted by ESPN's Stats and Info, so you know it's accurate. According to Next Gen Stats, Patrick Mahomes ran a total of 497 yards before his passes / sacks tonight. That's the most pre-throw, pre-sack yards ran by any quarterback in any game this season.
Yeah,
497. And that pass where he floated it up in the air in mid-tackle,
mm-hmm.
and the fourth quarter on that 4th and 11, that might have been the throw of the year.
Yeah, he's nice. There's no question about it. Did he get to do what he normally does? No, but that's hats off to Todd Bowles, because Todd Bowles had the game plan. They locked Tyreek the Freak up. Kelsey didn't seem out of sorts. He dropped.
Well, what's interesting about the Tyreek Hill thing is finally, someone figured out, don't play man against Tyreek Hill. Play a zone, because you ain't going to catch that cat in a man-to-man defense.
No.
You play him zone, you have a shot.
They know they can't guard him one-on-one. They have to put 2 or 3 guys on him.
Right,
That's how
but I'm saying the amount. And if there's anyone who knows about Tyreek Hill lighting up offenses, it's you, because you play against him twice a year.
Right.
Every year. And you can't play man against him.
But you would have thought all the distraction that he took, someone else would have got open.
Oh, Travis Kelce didn't play well.
No, I mean, he caught some balls, but he dropped a key 3rd down ball. It was right in his hands. See, the thing that bothered me the most, though, of the 3 things we were talking about, the offensive line, they were kind of injured. They went through. That's fine. What bothered me the most is you're the Kansas City Chiefs. You're the defending Super Bowl champions. To have as many stupid, undisciplined penalties as you did, right?
You're not inexperienced. You just won. If you were the Buffalo Bills, I'd understand that. Pressure of the moment, first Super Bowl in a while, trying to knock the 0 for 5 in the Super Bowl. I get that, but you're the Kansas City Chiefs. You have the experience. You have the qualifications. You just won it. Most of the guys on that team were there last year. So you have no excuse to be making those stupid penalties that you were, because a lot of the penalties were stupid penalties.
Well, here's the thing, and you're right. They cost themselves by doing that. I felt personally like some of those PIs were suspect. Balls were not.
Some were. Some were.
The one where dude fell, and I don't even know if he touched him. And he fell. It was like, really? He wasn't catching that ball. The one that Brady threw away out of bounds, they called one there that I thought was, come on, man, the ball wasn't catchable.
Okay, there was some of them, but I'm saying some of those penalties were the right call, and they were just stupid decisions by Kansas City.
Absolutely. But there was 3 of them in particular that could have been a difference maker in the game for the Chiefs. And
But I don't think it would have made or break. I don't think that they had enough to say we could have won this game.
No, I agree. I just think the game could have been closer, and you never know, man. Kansas City's a momentum team. You know, they get a couple of those calls. They get a couple of those third down. Them scoring at the end of the first half when they call dude in the neutral zone, that's a suspect one too. Because if you look at every play, defensively, someone's in the neutral zone. I watched so many plays in that game. I'm like, oh, his helmet's over across the ball. His helmet's across the ball. Why is the flag not being thrown? And I'm talking for both teams. I'm not talking that they only did it for. It's like you're going to really call that one there when there's a neutral zone infraction every time. That was a suspect call. The call where Tyronn Lue had, I'm Tyronn Lue. Where Matthew, where the Honey Badger had the interception, that pass interference was bogus. Like, yeah, he had his hands around him a little bit and was messing with him a little bit, but that's why I struggle with football, because you can't even touch a guy anymore.
And Tyrann Mathieu's face when that flag was thrown, it looked like he just got shot. He was shocked at that.
I don't blame him, because that was the type of plays that they made. Like that stop that they had at the end zone on the one. Those are the type of plays that they make at the right times, and it changed the game or keep the game right. But hey, hats off to the Bucs. They deserved it. They earned it. And an even bigger shout out goes to Arians. I put up a post a while back.
I saw that.
Yeah,
about all black or women staff.
Yes, and my deal is, I would have been fine and would have loved for Brady not to get his 7th, just because I'm sick of hearing people around here act like they played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with him. You know what I mean? You know, it's annoying to me, but he got his 7th. He was all ready to go. I do think he loves the game. I think he'll continue to play.
Hey, what's your thought on him and Gronk's shenanigans today?
What'd they do today?
So they took their parade. They did it on like a boat, because Tampa Bay's near the water. They all had boats. And Tom Brady threw the Lombardi trophy from his boat over to Gronk's boat. And Gronk caught it.
Oh, I like that.
Swung the Lombardi trophy from boat to boat. Like Brady's boat was here, Gronk's caught up, and then they threw the trophy over. I
can't even front. I like that.
I know. It's fun. But
I like that. That's dope. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a Gronk fan. Like, I know his brother Gordy very well. That's my dude. You know, he's taken care of me and been a good dude to me in the time that I've known him. And I love Gronk. Like, he's just, you know, there's a reason he never really truly fit into the Patriots as far as I was concerned. I mean, he just got busy on the field. He was never really truly about the Patriot way and about all that. You know what I mean?
because you know what? Gronk, and this is tough to say, but I think if Brady had not been on that team, I think Gronk would have been more influenced or closer to Hernandez, because they were boys. Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. Oh, I already know about Murder Hen. I already know about Murder Hernandez.
But what I'm trying to say is that I think that Brady is the glue that kept Gronkowski going, because I feel like he might have been influenced by Hernandez more.
Not to murking people though. That's not how.
Not like that. But the gang influence is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Gronk's fam. That's not Gronk. Gronk's family is. He comes from a nice soil. Like his soil.
No, I know. You can tell he's a nice guy.
Pretty solid. So I can't even hate on that. But if they were passing the trophy, the Lombardi trophy, I've just kind of turned my TV off because I just don't even feel like hearing all of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. All right. Now I know that you had a question for me about Brady before we get into the debate topic.
That, like I said, I wanted to get into. Shout out to Bruce Arians.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
No, you're all good. Shout out Bruce Arians. Congratulations. Like I told Funky Cold, I put up a post. He saw it on Facebook, and it was me giving a shout out to the staff, Bruce Arians and his staff. I'm looking at the picture right now, and on his staff, this is why I call it Rooney Rule to the fullest, because we're just not. We've been discussing this, and they just don't hire black head coaches in the league. Not like they should for a league that has 70% color. So they just don't really hire people of color in the league. With that being said, kind of hopping off, but hopping back on. Shout out to Tom Flores, one of my former Raider coach with 2 championships. Shout out to him for making the Hall of Fame. Shout out for Charles Woodson for making the Hall of Fame. But anyways, in regards to coaches, Bruce Arians has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black coaches on his staff, along with a female coach. And both his coordinators are of color. Todd Bowles and Brian and Leftwich. So shout out to him for that, to him for breaking the stereotype and trying to break the cycle, that the vicious cycle that's been going on in the NFL forever. 70% minority. That's all I gotta say. 70% minorities in the league. And what was the percentage of coaches, of head coaches in the league?
Like 15.
Is it even 15%? Is it even that?
Oh no, sorry, it might be 10 because there's 30 NFL teams and there's 3 coaches of color.
I think it's less than that then.
Yeah, it's 10 or 7 or something crazy like that.
Anyways, shout out to Bruce Arians for following his Rooney Rule to the fullest. Clap, give it up to him.
All right, now you had a question for me.
I do.
Regarding Tom Brady.
Yeah, my question is, and this is what's been going around, and you got people talking this, so I'd like to get your opinion. Is Tom Brady the greatest athlete of all time?
Now, I'm going to answer this question non-biasedly and honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of what I say, there's going to be people that disagree with me on this.
Oh, we're in Maine. We're in New England. Like
but I'm saying even if I say yes, all the people who
aren't
don't like Tom Brady will disagree with me. All I'm going to say is this. First of all, there is zero doubt that Tom Brady is the greatest football player ever. Let's just get that out of the way. He is the greatest football player ever. He might even go down as the greatest sports player ever. But when I look at athlete, I look at Patrick Mahomes is a better athlete than Tom Brady because he's more athletic. NBA players are more athletic, right?
Yeah, Tom's not.
The issue with Tom Brady is this. It depends on what you're looking at for athlete.
Yes.
If for athlete you're saying throw away athletic ability, then yes, I agree, 100%. But my definition of athlete involves athletic ability. Yes, he keeps his body in great shape. Yes, he's 43, but he plays quarterback and he's never really gotten hit that much. Let's be honest.
All the rules are designed to protect the quarterback.
Exactly.
And they straight up have Tom Brady rules. Like, let's just keep that.
And I'll be honest with you. Shove aside a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, and maybe a Deshaun Watson. Maybe. No quarterback in the league can be argued for the best athlete of all time. Outside of those 2 I mentioned, because those 2 can run, they can jump, and they're multi-sport athletes. That's what I believe. I think that when you're looking at greatest athlete of all time, you have to look at, and Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray, guys like that, because you got to look at greatest athlete of all time. You could say it's Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
You could say greatest athlete of all time is Deion Sanders.
Yeah. Deion Sanders is up there for me.
Because, he didn't win a lot of championships. He won some, but he played football and baseball, in the span of 24 hours, a game for each one?
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there. I put MJ and LeBron up there.
Yeah.
I put a lot of the soccer players up there. And here's why.
Muhammad Ali.
A lot of people, Muhammad Ali, but a lot of people don't know this about soccer players. A soccer field is a football field, but with both end zones. So it's 120 yards, right? You're running 120 yards up and down a field. In professional soccer, there's 3 subs with 11 people on the field. So some players don't sit. They're running back and forth for 90 minutes straight. That's a lot of athletic ability. in football, you're on offense. You play. You're on offense or defense. You play a possession, you sit. You play a possession, you sit. That's why I have a hard time giving
soccer players. You guys, you know how you guys get your flop on. You know how that works for you guys. That's some good rest.
I understand that, but
falling down on the ground.
It depends on the soccer. Okay.
What?
Listen. We're gonna have to have.
I got to give you a hard time on that. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have to have this debate another day. But listen, the NBA is becoming a flop league in itself. So
what is
the NBA? It's getting there.
It is.
It is getting there. And King of flops himself, Mr. Harden's over there. Mr. Turnovers is becoming one of the best floppers in the league. But by the way, my name for flops is Smarts. Just so you know, because he's the king of flops. He's the king of flops. They're called Smarts.
He plays Dito.
He plays D, but he flops. That's a fact.
So I like your take on Tom.
And I want to say, I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady. I have his book on my laptop, the TB12 method. I respect him. He's a great athlete. The other issue I have with Tom Brady is this, and I'm not going to get much into this because this goes into the P word that we say we don't want to talk about much on this show.
Right.
But there's rumors that he voted for the person that's no longer in office. And I don't know if you saw the Deacon's thing on his story the other day, but he avoided a question very smartly about the whole movement that's going on.
Interesting. My thing, I mean, we won't really get into the politic piece with him, but I mean, we know who his dude was. He kept quiet about his dude because, but my piece is I didn't realize that the cat got $1 million donated to his business when they did the first stimulus piece, and he bought a yacht with it. So
who, Brady?
Yeah. So
from him, right?
No, he just from the particular stimulus package, he got a stimulus package.
Yeah, Richie bought a yacht with, which by the way, that yacht was the boat that he used on his for
that's
the parade
all
today.
Money because he needed that stimulus money. But that's a whole nother ball game. We won't get into.
Anyway, all right. Is it now? Before we jump into the NBA, I agree. Before we jump into the NBA, here's our debate topic for the day: top 20 quarterbacks of the century. This was a post by Pro Football Stuff on Instagram. I'm going to list you their honorable mentions first. All right, actually, no. Should I go 20 to 1 and then list the honorable mentions, or should I go honorable mentions, then 20 to 1?
Honorable mentions.
So honorable mentions: Andy Dalton, Jay Cutler, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kirk Cousins, Matt Hasselbeck. This is for top. This is top cornerbacks of the century.
Read those again, please.
Honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Guys that aren't in the top 20.
Yeah, make sure
Dalton,
you keep talking louder because I couldn't. You kind of fade now.
Andy Dalton, Jay Cutler, Ryan Fitzmagic, Kirk Cousins, and Matt Hasselbeck.
So when you first started talking again, you faded out. So I'm sorry to have. Now I can
it's
hear.
It's fine. Okay. All right. So I said Andy Dalton. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Jay Cutler. Did you hear that?
Wow.
Fitzmagic. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Now.
I didn't hear the last person you faded out.
Hasselbeck.
Matt Hasselbeck.
Now here's the top 20 quarterbacks of the 21st century, according to this list. And I have a problem with this list, but I'm going to let you go first.
I'm listening to your honorable mentions and I'm going,
Exactly. All right. Andrew Luck at 20. Warner at 19.
Who?
Andrew Luck at 20.
Yep.
Warner, 19.
Why do you keep fade? Hey, Fresh, what? Do we know why he keeps fading out?
I don't know why.
Might be the AirPods.
Do you need the earpods?
Hold on.
We good?
You hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, that's better.
Much better.
All right. So for the top 20 lists, I have and this is this guy's list: Andrew Luck, Kurt Warner, Tony Romo, Joe Flacco, Michael Vick, Alex Smith, Carson Palmer, Donovan McNabb, Cam Newton, Matt Stafford, and here's his top 10. Favre, Matt Ryan, Rivers, Russell Wilson, Eli Manning, Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. Do you have a problem with this list and where? Because I have problems that I'll get to.
I do have some problems with the list, but I got to hear some of the names again. For one, the honorable mentions, I can't even get behind the honorable mentions. Some of the honorable mentions.
Here's my issue. I don't think Jay Cutler deserves to be in the honorable mentions.
No,
he does not.
Not even close.
No, and I
struggle with Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton's got his team in the playoffs. He couldn't win a game, but
you know what? I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a huge Tony Romo fan. Huge Tony Romo fan. But I don't think he deserves to be ahead of Kurt Warner.
Why isn't Troy Aikman on the list? Like, why is it?
Of the century, of the 21st century.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Wait, so Brett Favre was still in there?
Yes, sir.
That's right, because he held teams hostage. He held the Green Bay Packers hostage, and then recently had the nerve to try to talk down on Deshaun Watson when he was worse. But we'll talk about that later.
Anyways, so my issue with the list is I think Kurt Warner should be higher than 19.
Oh, hell yeah.
Way higher than 19.
Absolutely, top 10.
Yeah, I don't agree with
Carson Wentz?
No, Carson Palmer at 14.
Where do they have Carson Palmer listed?
14. And the reason why, here's why I have an issue with that list.
You got him higher or lower?
I think I have him lower, and here's why.
Okay.
I have 3 quarterbacks that are behind him that, in my opinion, are better than him or were better than him.
Luck?
Michael Vick,
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, and Kurt Warner. You're going to tell me that Kurt Warner was worse than Carson Palmer?
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Carson Palmer, it took him a while to get some weapons. Maybe they're basing it off of some of the weapons they had. Kurt Warner had the greatest show on turf.
But hold on. Carson Palmer played for your Raiders.
Yeah, but when we were, we suspect. My Raiders are suspect. Palmer's best squad he had was when he played for Arizona. That's when he had some weapons.
Right. I agree.
Are they basing it off of that?
They're just saying it's just based off in general, the top 20. And the other issue I have with the list is this. Does Eli Manning deserve 6? I know he has 2 rings.
But he has 2 rings against the GOAT. And thank God he got those rings against the GOAT, because we wouldn't hear the end of it.
Listen.
I'll be one of the first to tell you, I did not like the way he came in the league and demanded that he go to a certain team. I didn't dig that. I was never really a big fan.
Do you want to know what my biggest issue with this list is, though? Bigger than Kurt Warner at 19, what my biggest issue with this list is. Tell me, coach, you're a football coach, you're a football guy. What justification does this list have to have Matt Ryan at 9?
They're really strictly going off of his numbers.
Because they have Matt Ryan at 9. So let me just tell you some of the names that Matt Ryan's ahead of on this list.
Yes, please.
That he shouldn't be ahead of.
In your opinion.
He's ahead of Brett Favre, and he shouldn't be ahead of Brett Favre. He's ahead of Matt Stafford, which is okay. However,
they're about the same as far as I'm
But
concerned.
Matt Stafford just got traded to LA, so let's see what he can do in LA. But they're about the same. I'll give you that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
He's ahead of Cam Newton. And I disagree with that because Cam Newton was a dog on Carolina. I think Cam Newton should be ahead of Matt Ryan. He was ahead of Donovan McNabb.
That's bogus. McNabb is top 10.
Exactly.
McNabb might be top 5.
I disagree with that. I like the top 5 on this list. Big Ben,
Who they got? Big Ben?
Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I'm not touching the top 5. I like the top 5.
And he should be right around that 7 mark.
Who? Donovan?
Yep.
I'll tell you something right now. You know what? I'll do you one better. So I agree with the top 5, the order. I go Brady, Manning, Brees, Rodgers, Ben.
My number 6, I'll give Russell Wilson 6. I'll give Donovan McNabb 7. I'll give Kurt Warner 8. I'll give Eli Manning 9, and I'll give Brett Favre 10.
Oh, I'm gonna probably go Brett Favre at that 9 spot, and then
And
swap.
Eli at 10.
Yeah, but I like where you're going with it. Hey,
Because
and
he-
the tough part with Luck is if he kept playing, sky was kind of the limit for him.
Exactly. And so here's the thing. I definitely think, and listen, so really from my list, what I did was I took Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan out of the top 10 and
Yeah.
replaced them with Donovan McNabb and Kurt Warner. And
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers had great numbers, but he didn't win when it mattered most.
Right. And he threw a lot of picks in his career, but Rivers was a G. Like he was.
All right. Okay, hold on. If you're going to bring up picks,
Brett Favre.
then we're going to have to go the Brett Favre route.
I know what you're saying, but Brett Favre got a ring.
He did have a ring.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of factors in for me. So I'll let that
You know,
slide.
I agree with you. And then the other thing is this. I said I put Donovan McNabb and Kurt Warner in my top 10.
Right.
And then I think, you know what? I'm fine with Cam Newton at 12 because at 11, I'm going to put Michael Vick at 11. I
Yes.
think Vick goes 11,
Yep.
Cam goes 12.
Yep.
I think Joe Flacco goes 13 because he has the ring. He
Got a
has the ring.
And he handled his business for like his first 5-6 years in the league.
He was good until he left Baltimore. Those last 2 years in Baltimore are no good, but before that, he was good.
Yeah, he was solid. He was very consistent. So wait, so who's after Flacco?
So after top 10, it goes Vic 11, Cam 12, Flacco 13. I guess I'll keep Carson Palmer at 14, Alex Smith 15. Actually, no, I take that back. Matt Ryan 14, Stafford 15, Alex Smith 16, Carson Palmer 17. Oh wait, no, I messed up. Sorry. 11 Vic, 12 Cam, 13 Phillip Rivers, 14 Joe Flacco.
Thank you. Even though Flacco's got that ring, I feel you.
And then
There's more
and then after that, I'll give Stafford 15, Ryan 16. I'll give Romo 7. You know what? Only because I'm a homer, I'm gonna give Romo 17, Carson Palmer 18, and then I'm forgetting someone. Actually, you know what? I'll go Andrew Luck 19, and I would put Matt Hasselbeck at 20.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think Matt Hasselbeck deserves to make the list.
He was a yeah.
The issue I have is
Can you
that
go back? Can you read their
either Matt Stafford, Carson Palmer, or Alex Smith is not making this list, in my opinion.
Can you read their 20 to 15?
Luck, Warner, and we already said Warner's top 10.
Ace. That's a slap in the face. But
19 for Kurt Warner. I saw that and I was like, how?
that's a slap in the face. But go ahead.
Luck, Warner, Romo, Flacco, Vic. I said put Vic top 15, put Flacco top 15, put Warner top 10, keep Romo at the 18-17 mark, put Luck at 19. I say put Hasselbeck in.
Who gets booted to honorable mention then?
Alex Smith or Carson Palmer.
Oh, that's tough, man. Palmer was a bad boy. I don't know. I mean, and Alex Smith right now.
Hold on. Matt Hasselbeck went to a Super Bowl though.
He did, but he had a guy that he was handing that ball off to that was an MVP.
But he could throw the ball too though.
Named Sean Alexander that was a freaking problem. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Seattle. He was a problem. Even though he never ran in between the tackles, he was a problem. But so Alex Smith, the thing that finds it hard for where I want to place him is he came back from that injury, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't place Alex Smith off that list.
I put Alex Smith at 20. Hasselbeck's an honorable mention for me.
So you like the 20 guys that are on that list, and you don't want to touch the 20 guys on that list. You liked the top 20. You just didn't like the order.
Didn't like the order.
To me, the biggest issue with the order was how is Kurt Warner at 19 and Matt Ryan at 9? That's what I'm saying.
That's Matt. Yeah, disrespectful. Matt Ryan's cold though. I mean, he's putting up the numbers, but Kurt Warner he was working at a grocery store, bro. They got him out. They got him out of a grocery store. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, he was serving produce. So, and then came out and did the greatest show on turf. Like he's up there. So,
Okay, but you know what? Here's the other point I'm gonna make, and I'm not arguing it because I'm a logical Cowboy fan. But Tony Romo could be argued higher than 18. He could be argued higher than 18. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying it's arguable.
Man, you know, Pusha T had a line about Tony Romo.
Oh God.
One of the coldest lines I heard. He said, effing up the game like I'm Tony Romo. Bars. He said, effing up the game like I'm Tony Romo. Now, I'm not going to take nothing away from Tony Romo. He's an unbelievable golf player. You know what I'm saying? He's an unbelievable commentator.
Oh, okay, here comes the J-Jack blasphemy. Here we go.
No, he's an unbelievable commentator. Like, I mean, the guy knows what's happening before it's happening, which also lets you know he is deserving of this list. He should be coaching somewhere.
He should be. And by the way,
phenomenal. I'm not going
to conversation for another day.
Yes.
But I saw it because I was thinking, Coach didn't say that any of his Raiders quarterbacks should be on here. But one of these days, we're going to talk about greatest busts in NFL history, and I'm going to bring up your boy Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, he's terrible. That was awful. No, we don't really have. You know, we can't. I mean, was Gannon around then? No, he wasn't 21st, right?
21st is starting in 2000.
Yeah, Gannon had just left. Right? Or did we go? When did we go to the Super Bowl? Did we go to the Super Bowl with Gannon in 01? When did we go to the
But still, that was the end of the 2000s. That was the beginning of the 2000s, and that was the end of his career.
Got you. So, yeah, no, we can't talk about – there's no Raider QB.
But the issue – okay, last thing I want to mention on this list. Jay Cutler does not deserve to be on the honorable mention.
No.
I don't care that he went to a Super Bowl. That was not because of him.
Jay Cutler went to a Super Bowl?
He did. When they lost to the Colts.
With Chicago. He went to a Super Bowl?
Yes. I think – wait.
No.
I thought he was the quarterback on that team.
Man, no.
I think he was.
You need to look that up.
I'm looking that up right now. I know. No, see, I think he was, but I think the only reason they made the Super Bowl was because of Urlacher.
Urlacher and Hester. Hester returned a kick every damn game, you know?
The greatest kick returner of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time. And I'm arguing that every day of my life.
Hey, I'll never forget, man, when they had a little highlight of him, man, and he was talking.
You were right. Jay Cutler never went to a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman went.
Yeah, I was about to say Cutler was trash. And he stole a check from Miami. He came back and took all that money. They should have been like, look, man, we got to get that check back.
You know who's not a Jay Cutler fan in the slightest is Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, he was garbage. He was boo-boo. Like he was, as my youngest seed says, he was doo-doo cheeks.
Doo-doo cheeks. Shout out Gabe Jackson.
Hey, so,
and then the other issue I have with this list, which we mentioned and we agreed on, is, and I'm gonna quote Stephen A. Smith on this, the blasphemy of putting Donovan McNabb below Stafford and Matt Ryan.
You mean behind him?
Behind.
Yeah.
This list had him at 13 with Stafford, Matt Ryan, and Phillip Rivers and Brett Favre above him.
There were some of those Eagle teams that he was willing to the NFC championships.
Oh, hold on. When they played the Pats in the Super Bowl the first time, it was that dude carried the offense there. Carried.
Hey, do you remember they booed that fool when he got drafted? He balled out. Can't hate on him, even though T.O. be hating on him. I can't hate on my guy, man. McNabb. He put in work, man. I've sat.
Now here's my question to you.
Yep.
I agreed with the top 5. But Ben or Aaron Rodgers?
They got Ben at 5.
Ben at 5, Aaron Rodgers at 4. Because I think Breeze, Manning, and Brady at 3 through 1 is easy, no doubt. But Ben and Aaron Rodgers.
Very, very hard, man. You could have went either way with me because
They both have a ring.
yeah, no rings. Don't sleep on Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger has 2.
And he's been to 3 ships.
And in one of them, he beat Rodgers. Nope, sorry, Rodgers beat him. I'm sorry.
No,
The
he
one
beat,
that-
he beat Kurt Warner, and then he just kind of managed. He kind of did like Brady in Brady's first Super Bowl. He managed the team.
against Matt Hasselbeck.
Yes. And some say he shouldn't have got that. Some feel like a lot of my Seahawks brethren feel like that they,
Now, here's my question to you.
Yeah.
Had Matt Hasselbeck won that Super Bowl, would he make this top 20?
Probably.
I would have put him over Stafford.
For me with Matt Stafford is when he said, "We're gonna take the ball and we're gonna win it." You don't remember him saying that?
Hasselbeck?
Yeah, he said that when they were flipping the coin. He tried to basically guarantee victory and they lost.
Damn.
Yeah. Not only did he try to guarantee victory, he tried to guarantee victory at the coin toss. You know what I'm saying?
All right. On to the NBA.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about, before you even bring up anything, can I talk about a couple things in the NBA?
Go ahead, sir. Go right ahead.
One of the questions I got to ask you about is the Nets.
I am so glad you brought that up because I'm ready to go. And I'm telling you something right now. If I don't have Boston fans after they're watching this hitting me up, I'll be surprised because I'm about to go and say something. First of all, before I get to the Nets thing, and we'll get back to this later, I'm not that sold on Boston.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that. I'm not sold on the Nets either. KD's been going down and they've been losing. And they lost to the Pistons last night with Kyrie and James Harden playing. Now,
hold on before you go on. In the Pistons' defense, those fools get up for the good teams, man. They beat the Lakers, and they damn near beat the Lakers again the other night. They took the Lakers to double OT. So,
I saw a meme that said the Detroit Pistons versus bad teams, and it's a picture of Darko Milicic. And then it says the Detroit Pistons versus good teams, and it's a picture of Big Ben Wallace flexing.
Yeah, that's real. They get up for the real team. So can't take that too hard.
However, they shouldn't have lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that stuck out to me about that game is this, and remind me if you've seen this before, Coach. There was a video that surfaced on Instagram of one number 13, James Harden, I think is his name, Mr. Turnovers, right? Arguing with certain players on the team, DeAndre Jordan and others, about lack of defense and things not going well.
Oh, when was this?
Last night in the Pistons game, he was animated on the bench. We've seen him do that with Westbrook. We've seen him do that with Chris Paul. And the most important thing of all of that is if you're James Harden, you have zero right to be arguing about defense.
Yeah,
unless you're taking the blame.
Yeah, he don't D up. But you just told me that he was getting on them. That's not good for the Nets camp.
That's what I'm telling you. And I told you at the and you know what's funny? You know what's funny? What Kyrie Irving is best at is disappearing and not showing up at times. And what I mean by that is he was nowhere to be found in those videos of arguing on defense. So that makes Kyrie Irving look like the good guy. And that makes James Harden look like the bad guy. And Kyrie Irving was just sitting there and trying to do his thing. And I'm telling you right now, if James Harden keeps that up, like he did in Houston with Chris Paul, with Russell Westbrook, with Dwight Howard, with everyone, the Nets aren't going anywhere. And I'm going to be the first to say it right now. I'm not sold on the Brooklyn Nets. I think their best player is Kevin Durant, and I think their second best player is Kyrie Irving, period.
I'm going to have to agree with you 100% on not being sold on the Nets. I'm not sold on them at all. I'm definitely not sold. They can't do it with two players.
Well, here's the issue that the Nets have too. And again, I'm a Kyrie Irving fan, but you have two of the most melodramatic basketball players on the court at the same time in James Harden and Kyrie Irving. And when Kevin Durant wants to be, he can be a little drama queen too.
Oh, yeah.
And you got no bench. and you got a rookie head coach that's maybe 10 years older than all three of them. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing,
Yeah.
the Brooklyn Nets play as good as defense as the three of us will.
Yeah, they need some help. I got a feeling they're going to make some moves during the trade deadline. They have to. They got to get some defense. They don't have it. To me, they can play D, but they won't play consistently.
Listen,
Like, no one's willing to play consistently. They all want to do this. They're all about this.
well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna mention a player that's on the team that we're gonna talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Brooklyn needs to call Miami, needs to call South Beach, needs to call Mickey. I think Mickey Harrison's his name, and Pat Riley,
Mm-hmm.
and say, what can you give us for Avery Bradley? Because that's the type of player they need.
They're missing that guy. Yeah.
They say, what do you want for Avery Bradley? Because Avery Bradley will give you defense, he'll give you offense, and he'll give you leadership. That's
Yeah,
the
he can
great
go
thing
get you
that they need.
15. He can go get you 15. You're right. I'm a big Avery Bradley fan. And shout out Avery Bradley, Tacoma, Washington. You know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Hey, and with Tacoma, Washington being brought up, coach has to say,
Bring back our Sonics, man. How much longer you guys gonna not bring back? I mean, it's time. You know what I'm saying? We got a championship. We've been to championships. We're a basketball town. We got, you know,
hey, speaking of the Sonics, and I never thought of this earlier.
actors in the league. We got some of the best players that have ever played in the league. You know
And-
what I'm saying? That
I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier
what's that?
when you first said bring back our Sonics. But I'm a quote a Pop Smoke song. The Sonics got taken out of Seattle like thieves in the night.
Thief in the night, man. Straight up, I blame Oklahoma City, man. They knew what they was doing. Or
Literally,
played-
I think
They knew what he was-
that there could be any team in the league play in the finals against the Thunder, and you would root against the Thunder.
Absolutely.
Even if it was the Nets and James Harden, you would root
Absolutely.
against the Thunder.
Absolutely. Because James Harden, you're right. James Harden, I don't want him to ever get a championship. Ever.
And I don't think he will, by the way, because last night proved to me that when he's starting stuff, he's the problem.
It's early though. It's early, Funky Cold.
He-
I'm not sold on the Nets right now at all. They can't do it with two players, and they've proven that. They have no D right now, but they make the right moves. They could be back in the mix. What's your you're not sold on Boston. You didn't even get into that. Why are you not sold on Beantown?
All right. First of all, they're 12 and 11. I don't know if you know this. They're 12 and 11. They're sitting fourth in the East, behind the likes of Philly, the Bucks, and the Nets, which is respectable.
Mhm.
However, between fourth place and eighth place, there's a 1.5 game difference. They're 12 and 11, and the Raptors are 11 and 13. So they could easily be in eighth. The issue I have with them is they played the Utah Jazz last night, who we'll talk about in a second, because I have a thing about most disappointing and most surprising teams this year. So we'll get to the Utah Jazz in a second.
Right.
And they lost that game. Realistically, they should win that game. They're better on paper than the Jazz. They have two superstars that can shoot and that can ball, and I'm pretty sure they both played last night.
Did they play at home or were they at Utah?
They were in Utah,
Tough.
but there was no fans.
Still
Wait.
tough.
I agree, but I'm fully on board with your thing. If Boston trades for Ben Simmons,
Woo.
I think they're winning the East. I think that's what they need. I just think right now that and again, nothing against Kemba. I love Kemba Walker.
He's
Kemba
struggling
Walker is one of my favorite point guards,
too.
but I don't know if Kemba's working there right now.
I don't think he's fitting in. You know how I feel about that, man. If I'm them, I make a push for Simmons, and I'm like, man. But the problem is, I was talking to a friend who said, and I mentioned this, and he was like, that'd be perfect for them. He goes, but they're gonna want one of the big two.
They are, and you can't give up either. And I'd rather give up Tatum than Jaylen Brown, but most people disagree with me. I'd rather give up Tatum than Jaylen Brown.
I wouldn't want to give up neither one of those cats.
Me neither, but I'm just saying, if I had to choose,
They need a point guard to go with them that's a Ben Simmons type, or they need a dominant big man.
that's a Joel Embiid type.
Well, you know what they're missing right now is they're missing Al Horford. As crazy as it is.
Oh, and Celtic fans wanted to get rid of him, but why? You don't.
Well, a lot didn't want to, but they're missing that type. They can come in and just kind of, I don't know. But
Anyways, so that's it.
I think Boston's right where I thought Boston would be.
I did too, but Boston fans are always gassing them up. So I have to tell the Boston fans how it is. If you think Boston should be a top 2 team in the East, they ain't right now. So I'm not sold on top 2 in the
Boston's
East.
top 4 for me, easy. But I mean, Milwaukee's balling. The Nets are
Philly's balling.
Philly's balling, and Joel Embiid's my MVP right now still. And Doc is doing what we said. Doc is our coach of the year. At least we get that right in our predictions.
Hey, and I'm gonna talk about and I'm gonna what?
I had Doc picked, right? I had Doc picked.
Doc was one of mine. Doc was one of mine.
Shout out on it though. You felt me.
I felt you on that. I think who I had was who
Nick,
did I have?
I can't remember.
I had someone else. But anyways, that's beside the point. So I want to talk about a list now that we spoke about on the phone last night. Most surprising teams so far, most disappointing teams. Oh shoot. One thing I forgot to mention back in the NFL real quick. What was your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
The one where Tracy Morgan,
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
When Tracy Morgan did his lips like this,
you must have bust out laughing.
I died because his lips told the story of what happened. So
you must have bust out laughing, Coach.
Tracy Morgan. What was that commercial about? I just don't.
It was. I don't know what it was anymore, but that was funny.
Yeah,
He goes. It's bound to happen. He goes.
Yeah, man. Tracy Morgan's for me, bro.
For me, it was either that one. That one was a good one. The Matthew McConaughey Doritos one was funny.
Where he was skinny as hell. You like that one?
Yeah, and then he got stuck in the machine.
Yeah.
And then the Bruce Springsteen Jeep one was also good too. That was an inspirational one.
Yeah, he's getting old, man.
He's old. And quick thing actually, Wes, what was your favorite commercial?
I think I'd have to go with the Drake at State Farm. The commercials are a little serious this year.
What is wrong with Drake with that heart part in his head? He had the heart in his head.
I don't know. It looks happy though.
He looks happy, man.
But commercials were kind of a serious vibe this year. Kind of bummed
They
me out.
were. Hey, they had a diaper commercial. I think that's a first. Huggies had like a minute commercial.
Yeah, well, they probably came out the pocket too.
Oh, you know that there was something saying that for a 30-second commercial, it was $5 million?
Yeah, and man, remember when it used to be 2 and $1 million? And man,
It was $5 million. 5.
yeah, they're up in the ante for sure.
Yeah. And quick thing I thought the halftime show was good. I know you didn't think it was great. We're not going to talk about that much. I thought it was good though. And Wes, if you have anything you want to say on that, I thought it was good though.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. See, I liked it. I liked
I like the Weeknd, but he's a weird dude now. Like he kind of hit that level of fame where he's kind of a weirdo. Like he's teetering on that Kanye kind of.
Oh no, you're gonna compare him to Kanye. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
He's teetering.
hey, I'm not an anti-Weekend guy. I just don't mess with him either. You know what I mean? So it's not any love or hate. He started sounding a certain way when I heard him, and I'm like, you just don't sound good live. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide up out of here.
All right. Now, back to what I was going to say. Most surprising teams, most disappointing teams. Take into account, this was posted February 3rd. It was posted a week ago. Since then, one of these teams that was on the most disappointing list has started balling, had a big win last night, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm going to list the most surprising teams first. We'll discuss, then we'll do the most disappointing. Most surprising teams so far. In a good way. Utah, Cleveland, Charlotte, Houston, New York. Agree, disagree? Thoughts?
Yeah, let's start off with Charlotte. They still have my guy who I have picked as the as comeback player or as
Gordon
Hayward's balling consistently. They got LaMelo kind of making everything, keeping everything sparkly and happy there. I'm not surprised they're playing where they're playing. That's not a shocker to me. Who was the other teams you had on there? You had
Utah, which is fully deserving of that.
Utah is it's 50-50 for me. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised because I felt like in the bubble they were right on the cusp of really kind of doing some things.
Yeah, until they collapsed against Denver.
Yeah, but technically, if they could have got past Denver,
they could have made it to the Western Conference Finals.
They could have. They would have gave, and I feel like they would have gave LA some fits. But I don't think they would have beat them. But we'll see. And you got Shaq still not really feeling them, man. I think he's just egging them on.
Which I like.
Motivation.
So Utah, Cleveland's on that list, and I respect. Now Cleveland's 10-15, and they're in 11. The only reason why Cleveland is on this list is because all the preseason previews had Cleveland finishing dead last in the East, which I thought was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I give the respect to that. Cleveland, Charlotte, Utah, Houston, and New York. I agree with New York. I don't agree with Houston. They're 11-13. I don't think that they should be where they are on that list. I actually think that there's two teams I'd put above them on that list. One being the Spurs at 14-11. No one thought that was happening, sitting 6th in the West.
Right.
My other team is, I don't care if they got Chris Paul. Who thought Phoenix would be 14-9 right now and 4th in the West?
That doesn't surprise me. Like everyone kind of picked them to do well with the Chris Paul move.
But 4th?
They're playing slightly better than I thought they would, but I probably figured they'd be 5th or 6th.
Okay, but no one thought the Spurs were going to be where they are.
No, but I didn't doubt them because of Pop.
Me neither. I'm
kind of like a Belichick of the Belichick, not like Belichick, but in the sense of.
I agree. No, I get what you're saying.
This type of teams, man, they're going to compete. He'll come grab us and pull us out of the stands, and they're going to win.
Exactly. I know. I agree with that point. And so that's that. Now the most disappointing teams.
So you got the Pelicans on there. They're disappointing team.
Well,
right?
the Pelicans, they're on this list. It's not my list. They're on this list. But again, this was a week ago. Pelicans have gone on a win streak.
They got 4 in a row. But go ahead, boss. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
The first team on this list is 100% the most disappointing team this year. And that's the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes. But I told you, we talked about this off camera. I told you why I'm not shocked that they're where they are. They have they're dead last in 3-point shooting in the league.
But coach, you realize they're 11-14, and that amounts to 13th in the West.
Yes.
13th. That means that there's two teams in the West worse than them right now: OKC and Minnesota. And I don't care. And
Minnesota is really bad compared to them.
Right. And Minnesota's on that list of most disappointing teams as well. But the thing that bothers me about the Dallas thing is this. I understand your point about the 3-point shooting. Luke is supposed to be a shooter. Porzingis is supposed to be a shooter. And I understand Porzingis was injured for a bit, but since he's come back, they still haven't played well. Luka hasn't played well, and we had both of them in our MVP conversation. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's balling. They're not going to give MVP to someone who's 13th in the West. They're not going to do it.
You're right.
They're not going to do it.
He's putting up MVP numbers, though, but you're right. He's got to put up
Especially when you have guys like LeBron and Joel Embiid that are 1st and 2nd in their conferences.
Right. You got to put up. You're right. He has to put up. They were talking about this recently. He has to put up numbers to get him in the win column.
Right. He's producing numbers, but he's not producing wins.
It's kind of like empty calories. I feel you.
Empty to quote Walter Phillips, empty buckets. That's what it is.
I feel you. Okay.
They're on that list. Toronto's on that list. Toronto's picked it up. I don't think Toronto deserves to be there. They're going to figure it out. They also lost 2 key big men, so it took them time to adjust. They figured that out. New Orleans is on that list. I disagree with. Minnesota's on that list. Miami's on that list, and Miami should be higher. Miami should be the 2nd most disappointing team.
Miami's disappointing. You said they had the Pelicans on that list?
Yeah, I disagree with that because the Pelicans are figuring it out.
4 out of 6, and they won 4 in a row. They're starting to gel and click.
Yeah.
You dropped your mask, man. Who else is on that? Let me see. Who else were we just talking about? So Dallas, like I said to you with Dallas, man, they're not. You got to be able to shoot the 3 ball in the league, and them getting rid of Curry, man, that hurt. That cat shoots it. You see how well what's the name's doing? They switched up. They got their 3-point shooting full effect right now.
Philly.
Over there in Philly, full effect. They grabbed Danny, and they grabbed Curry, and man, now they're out there water. You know,
Danny's inconsistent though.
yeah, but still, man, when he's rolling, and then you got other 3-point help.
I agree. All right. Last thing I want to touch in the NBA from my part is this. I'm going to see if you can guess who the current, I'll list the top 10, but what I'll do is I'll list 10 through 6 for points per game, and I want to see if you can guess 5 through 1. So these are the points per game leaders in the league. At 10, you got Tatum with 27. 9, you got Giannis with 27.3. 8, you got Levine with 27.4. 7, you got Jokic with 27.5. 6, you got Luka with 27.8. Who do you think's the top 5 points per game?
Wow. We know Beal is 1.
Beal is 1 by a long shot. He's averaging 33.3.
We know Beal's 1. Man, is Joel in that list?
Joel's 4, 29.3.
Okay, so I'm doing all right. We know the Joker's on that list.
No, the Joker's 7. I said he was 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Dame time, of course.
29.1 at 5.
Curry.
Curry's 2 with 29.5. And there's someone else that's not playing right now. We just talked about his team. Slim Reaper.
Oh man, what is I didn't think KD, what's KD averaging?
29.5.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, believe it or not, Harden's leading in assists. Believe it or not.
Don't be shocked though, man. Like he's not, as much as I like to, he's not, I don't want to say he's not a selfish player because I feel like he is. But the thing about Harden, though, is just the way his game looks.
Hey, you know who's not? You know what's interesting to me? Who's not on this list for assists? Is Russ.
Oh, here we go.
Russell Westbrook's not on this list.
Here we go. Here we go with your shots at Russ. Okay.
No. Here's my point. When was the last time, besides Kevin Durant's MVP season, that Russell Westbrook had a teammate that was averaging 30 points a game? And so Beal's averaging 33.
You feel like Russ should be giving him some of those assists?
At least some of them, because number 10 on this list. Hold on. You'll agree with me when you hear this stat. Number 10 on this list is DeMar, who's averaging 6.8 assists. You're telling me Russ can't be averaging 7 assists a game?
That's true. I give you that. But a lot of those buckets that are going to Beal, man, those are him creating himself. That's him being ball dominant. So that's tough. You agree?
Yeah, I agree. So I'll just tell you, top 5 for assists is Harden, Doncic, Young, the Joker at 4, and Paul at 5.
Okay. That sounds about right. The Joker's a gangster, though.
He is. Now, rebounds. This is where it gets fun. Clint Capella's at 1 with 14.6.
Yeah, he's out there handling business.
Drummond, 14.2. He's someone else that knows how to hit the rebounds. Gobert, 13.5 at 3. DeAndre Ayton, 12.8 at 4. And at number 5, one of the most, until really last year, underrated players. He's still underrated. Sabonis with 11.7.
Okay.
And steals per game, you got Anunoby, Larry Nance Jr., the big fellas, averaging 2 steals a game.
Okay.
Drew Holiday, Fred VanVleet, Marcus Smart, Kawhi, Ben Simmons, they're all tied for 4th.
Okay.
Blocks per game, and everyone says Rudy Gobert is a great guy blocking, and he is. Rudy Gobert is averaging 2.7 blocks per game, and he's not number 1 on this list.
Hey, is number 1 the same cat that's leading in rebounds?
No, sir. Clint Capella's 3 with 2.4. Number 1 in blocks, averaging 3.6 blocks per game, is Miles Turner.
Yeah, you've been talking about Miles.
He's finally showing up, and he's averaging 3.6 blocks per game. And then number 4 on this list, well, tied for 4th, but number 4 on this list, and a guy that I've been saying is the Nets' Pascal Siakam, Chris Boucher, of the Raptors.
Okay.
And that's all I have on the NBA. If you have anything else, you let me know.
Nope, we're good.
One last thing.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the great Jason Jackson
Ah!
made his acting debut the other day on the Smithsonian Channel. Thanks to you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, man. You want a little some of the details on that? So basically, man, last summer, the Wolfingers, who they have like Lone Wolf Entertainment, I believe that's the name of their brand.
Well, I didn't realize it was that legit. That was legit. That was a legit thing.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on, man. They did this show called The Rivals, which had to do with Funky Coat's high school versus a rival high school, and how they're just totally different sides of the track. And they did a beautiful documentary on that back in the day.
Listen, man, I'll just speak out on that rivalry for a second.
Mm-hmm.
That rivalry sucked. And here's why it sucked. Because when we had to play them, we spent more time cramped in the bus than we did playing the game. Because you would go 2.5 hours there, play for like 2 hours, then you'd be exhausted at like 9. And I didn't play, but you know me, I'm always running back and forth on the field. I'm running like 6 field lengths the whole game.
Right.
And then you got to sit on a bus for 2.5 more hours with sweaty football gear and sweaty guys that played football, and it smells like a gym locker room.
Mountain Valley was filthy though.
Not anymore. They were. Now they're not so much.
Yeah, but they had a run. But anyways, that was a documentary they did called The Rivals. This one that they recently did with me is called sorry, I'm bugging out. All right. The one they did with me was called Americans Hidden Stories, and they got this going on the Smithsonian Channel. This was called Southern Women Union Spies. My son and I and my nephew, we all got to act in it. My nephew, he worked in the White House in the clip, and my son and I were two slaves that were part of the spy ring, to get information to the Union. So it's pretty dope. If you get a chance and it comes back on, check it out.
I will. And by the way, last thing.
Yeah.
My favorite, and I'm gonna call him Finderwolf, because that's what you call them. I'm talking about Noah Wolfing. My favorite Finderwolf moment. We were up in, I think it was Mountain Valley, his senior year when he got hurt. And we lost 26-8. And you know the rule, if we shut a team out, you get donuts, 0. Yep. We lost 26-8. And Finderwolf is one of the only players that can get away with saying this. Goes up to Filio right at the end of the game. Filio after the game and goes, "Wait, we scored 8 points. Is that double donuts?" He said that to coach, asking if we could get double donuts, and coach just gave him a look like, "Really, bro?"
Yeah, that's exactly how coach looked at him too, I'm sure. Yeah. So, yeah, man.
I thought that was funny. I was like, "You asking the double donuts?"
Shout out to the Wolfingers, man. Like I said, check that out on Smithsonian. American Spies. Pretty dope, man. It was a great experience for us. We had a good time. I had a little cameo in there, and had a good time. So, let's see.
Keeping you on the know.
Let me give these guys a little tip. So you want your little fun fact of the day?
By the way, I used my fun fact of the day from last episode on some of my adult friends, older friends that I know, family friends of my dad and I. Only 2 of them knew what money was. No, 2 of them knew money wasn't made out of paper. Only one of them knew it was made out of silk. You said no. Linen.
Yeah, linen.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So today's one is, did you guys know that American Airlines saved $40,000 in 1987 by eliminating 1 olive from each salad served in the first class?
How much money?
$40,000. By pulling out 1 olive. Some of the things that we don't know. That's a lot of bread, man.
And I'm sure that they also increased plane tickets during that time too.
Of course they did. They probably increased the plane tickets, and then they first class, you still kind of get a couple things, but they got to the point where, man, you get nothing pretty much, So.
All right. So thank you for listening to this episode.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon. We'll probably discuss it after we're done recording, what we're gonna do. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. It was a pleasure. Trying to think, anything else I wanted to say?
Subscribe and like.
Subscribe and like. I forgot to mention that earlier. That's my fault. Keep posted with the oh yes. Starting new on the Instagram page. If any of you followers have a debate question or sports related question, music related, culture related question that you want us to answer on the show, DM the Instagram page and I'll save it and we'll use it on our upcoming shows. That's a new idea I thought of today.
Yes, I got somebody that already suggested a topic too, so we'll make sure we get that in.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, y'all. We'll see you on
Tuning in,
next.
you guys. Hey, always a pleasure.
Peace and love.